this full-length Pilates Reformer class on flexion versus extension. Props I'll be using today include the box and or a sticky mat for the work on top of the box in Swan and pulling straps. I'm going to begin with footwork. I already have my handles on, unless you have some double loop straps. And then I have 3 to 4 springs on for footwork. I work with 4 springs, 3 heavy, 1 medium. On my machine, that is 3 greens and 1 red. If you are going to work heavier like that, please make sure that you're not tucking or tilting your pelvis or imprinting your spine when you're doing the footwork. We would like to retain a neutral spine at this time. So I'm going to go ahead and come down onto my back. My headrest is up. If you need a neck pillow, please feel free to get one. Your headrest can be down if you prefer it, but go ahead and make sure that you're not flaring your ribs when you're lying down. We're going to go ahead and find our neutral spine. Flat sacrum, slight lift to our low back, 12 reps on. Nice wide, flat shoulder blades. Open, soft collarbone. Nice soft sternum. Ribs drawing together. Lower belly sinking down. My heels are on, my feet are flexed. My toes and my knees are tracking over each other. I'm going to squeeze in on my glutes and hamstrings. Engage my inner thighs by squeezing my heels together. Flatten my palms away from me, pressing into my arms, not flaring my ribs. And inhale to press up, and exhale to pull in. Inhale. Go ahead and take a look down. Make sure that your toes are coming up right through the midsection of your body. So right from your belly button to where both of your heels are meeting, up to your nose. And inhale, and exhale. Let's make sure we have a nice long neck. Shake it out. Make sure that both hips are staying equally grounded as we press out and pull it in. So press it out and then resist it in. Let's do one more. Inhale. And sink our lower abdominals. From there, we're going to float our feet up. Place our balls of our feet on the foot bar, still in the Pilates feet position, heels together, toes apart, toes tracking over our knees. Instead of sinking our heels down every time, we're going to lift our heels about an inch or two to a position that might be a little less comfortable for you, and leave them at this place in space the whole time. So your heels won't drop towards the foot bar as you press out. So squeeze and zip it up through the center, and exhale to bring it back in. Press in through your arms, and inhale. Really wrap your glutes, and exhale. Go ahead and see if you can find the wrap of that thigh muscle across the front that starts at the inside of the knee and wraps around to the hip. So go ahead and squeeze it up, and exhale back in. And inhale. And flatten your shoulder blades even more. At the top, see if you can really pull up on those muscles on tops of your kneecaps to really straighten your legs. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. And come back in. From there, we're going to float our feet up in the frog position. Flex them. Separate your heels the width of the foot bar and float your heels down. Try to keep a neutral spine the entire time, just moving your legs. From there, we're gonna make sure that we have tension on the insides of our thighs. So we don't want our legs to just flop open freely. We wanna make sure that we're wrapping our glutes and we're engaging in our inner thighs as we squeeze and press out and exhale to press in. Woo. And inhale. And press out. And resist the spring tension back in. Don't just allow the springs to carry you across to the foot bar. Here's 5. We're working in a heels-toes scenario here at footwork today. So we're going heels in this position. We'll go to toes next in the same foot position. Here's 8. Or high heels. Demi-point, whichever one you prefer. Ball of the foot with heel raised high. From there, we're going to come up onto the balls of our feet, heels lifted high. The weight of our foot is going on the foot bar is going to be between our big toe and our second toe. We're going to press out, squeeze up at the top, wrap your muscles, and in. And inhale. And exhale. And neutral spine press out, don't tuck. And exhale. And press. Good job. of your legs, all parts of your body, pressing down into your arms to warm up your arms as well. We have 2 more. Here's 9. And here is 10. From there, we're going to float our feet up and off, bringing our feet to tabletop, squeezing our legs together. Knees, ankles, toes, thighs. Come down. Heels. Pulling our toes back strongly towards our knees. Inhale out. And exhale as if we're sitting back down into a chair. Resist. And press out with your glutes. Make sure you're not tucking to do this. See if you can sink weight into your entire sacrum, not just your tailbone as you press out. If you sink it into your tailbone, you're tucking or tilting your pelvis back. Most likely. Well, if you're going into your tailbone, then yes, right? Good. No tucking either. We have 2 more, guys. Wrap your ribs on the exhale. 1 more. And sink your lower abdominals. Still squeeze your legs together. Come up into a high heel position. Now, the entire inside of your foot's going to be glued together. We're going to inhale and press it out. Squeezing it up at the top. And exhale back in. Now, when we come up to the top, see if you can still find that wrap on the thigh muscle from the insides of your knees to the outsides of your hips. Really try to wrap your glutes at the top. Drop your lower abdominal. Wrap your ribs. Flatten your shoulder blades. And press. Really enjoy it here. We have a lot of ab heavy work coming up. We have a few more exercises and we're going to get right into the meat of everything. 9. And here is 10. Inhale, press it out 1 more time. We're going to trot. We're going to drop 1 heel under as our other knee reaches across the foot bar in a bent position. Come all the way up to 2 high heel positions before you drop the opposite heel. Really feel the nice stretch of that calf foot first. Make sure that when you're dropping that heel, you're not rocking from hip bone to hip bone. You want to keep both hip bones on the back equally weighted. If you use your core to do this, let's speed it up slightly and drop. Lift, drop, lift. If you find that you can't maintain this tempo without rocking, slow it down. Speed it up just a little bit more. Lift, 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 lift. 3 more sets. Exhale. Keep breathing. And 10. Squeeze it all together. Now drop both heels under with straight legs and squeeze it back up through the center. When you drop it under and then you press it up, press energy through your heels and out the top of your head. Keep the energy coming out of the top of your heels. Out of the top of your head. Transfer the energy shooting out of your heels now. And now up and lower. And squeeze your legs. So wrap the muscle on the outside of the thighs. So wrap your glutes. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. Now drop your heels under. Give me a micro bend in your knees. Stay here for just a second. Enjoying the release. And now slowly resist the springs to come into the bumper. Good job. We're going to come up to sitting. We are going to change our springs to 1 medium spring on my machine that is 1 right spring. I'm going to drop my headrest to flat. I'm going to turn around so my feet are in the headrest. My knees are bent. I have a hand's distance from the back of my tailbone to the back edge of my machine. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pull up on my straps. My palms are facing down. I'm dropping down on my shoulder blades. My hands aren't up here. My shoulders aren't up here. I'm engaging my lats, rolling my shoulders right back and out. Drawing my abdominals and squeezing my legs together. I'm going to inhale. Exhale. Pull back to a flat sacrum. Inhale. Exhale, come up, back up to sitting. Now this time, now that we have the movement, we're going to tuck our tail to begin movement. We're not going to lean back to move with our arms. We're going to tuck our tail to begin the movement. And then we're going to sink, 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 drawing our tailbone towards the end of the machine. And we're going to pull it back to move the machine. After we pulled it all the way back, then we come all the way back over to sitting out of the tuck. To begin, we tuck, dropping our belly button to our spine, drawing our ribs to our hips, and pull the machine towards the uprights, the end of your machine with your tailbone, pressing it out with your pelvis. Pull it back, maintaining that tuck, up to sitting. Tuck and move the machine by moving your pelvis. And back. And up. Let's do one more. And tuck. Dropping your belly. Shoulders down. And come back up. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to tuck. Start moving the machine. Come back to here. Leaving our palms wide. We're going to row by pulling our handles to our underarms, not to our shoulders, and come back. Stay in the curve. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. Inhale to pull back, and exhale to release. Try not to break your wrists, like this. Try to keep them straight. Here's 7. We're going to 8. And here's 8. Draw down and back on your shoulders. Now come up, 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 up. Stay in the tuck. And release up. And now inhale. Exhale. Pull back in the tuck. And pull back. Leaving my left arm straight. I'm going to come into a one-arm bow and arrow rowing. So I'm going to pull my right arm, looking to my right side, and come back to center. Now I'm going to transfer the weight to my left hand and pull and look over. This is a slight twist. Both of my sits bones are staying equally grounded on the back. I'm twisting from the belly button up. And I row. I'm keeping my other arm straight out. And now I begin to articulate up, staying in the tuck, and release. Adding on to that movement with the bow and arrow. We're going to inhale, tuck our tail, articulate back. I'm going to row with my right hand. I'm going to come through center and pull my left arm back. Leaving my left arm back, I'm going to pull the bow and arrow to the left arm. I'm going to come back to the center by releasing my left, and I'm going to come back up to sitting, and then release the tuck to sit tall. And tuck. Pull back. Opposite. I'm going to pull bow and arrow with my left arm. I'm going to pull my right arm back to meet my left. Transfer my weight to my right arm. Bow and arrow with my right arm back. Release my right arm to meet my left arm. Come up to sitting. And release. Starting with the left arm again. Tuck and pull back. Bow and arrow, left arm. Pull back your right arm. Release your left arm to bow and arrow, right arm. Release your right arm forward. Articulate up. And sitting. Tuck. Come back. Belly button to spine. Bow and arrow, right arm. Pull back to rowing with left arm. Release to bow and arrow with left arm. Release your left arm to right arm. Come up. And sit up. Only a few more. Bow and arrow, right arm. Pull back left arm. Transfer weight, bow and arrow, left arm. Release left arm. Out to sitting. One more on each side. Bow and arrow left. Pull back to rowing. Bow and arrow right. Release right arm to center. Up to sitting. Whenever you come through center, you look straight ahead. When I bow and arrow right, I look to the right. When I pull my left arm back to rowing, I'm looking center. When I release my right arm to left bow and arrow, I'm looking to the left. I release my left arm to my right arm, I'm looking center. I come back up, and then I release the tuck. Good job, guys. We're gonna, your arms are out fast, go ahead and shake them out. Bring them back up. We're gonna do some marching and some modified scissor movements. We're gonna inhale, exhale, tuck, come back to our sacrum. From there, I'm going to march my right arm, my right leg up, and release it. And left leg, and release. Deepen your scoop. Use your abdominals to move your leg. On the exhale, sink your abs to lift. And then lift, and lower. And lower. Allow the straps, the ropes, to help you deepen your rib to hip connection. Really drop into those low abs and maintain your forward flexion curve. Go ahead and come back up and release. Tuck and come back. Roll your shoulders up, back and down. Now, without moving anything else in your belly, just flick your shin out so that you're thigh to thigh. We're going to release down and exhale to float it up. Right above the knee, no higher. Inhale. Don't move your upper body to do this. Inhale. How still can your upper body be? Here's 6, belly to spine. Nice wide open collarbone. Just because we're in forward flexion doesn't mean we collapse across the shoulders and round our shoulders in. Come knee to knee, thigh to thigh. Bend at the knee to bring your shin to shin. Come back up to sitting. You got it, other leg. Come back. Now without moving anything on your left leg, other than your shin, flick your left leg up. Now drop it down on the inhale and bring it right up, right above knee to knee, using only your abdominals. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Here's 3. And inhale. And sink your abdominals to lift, just like you would on the double leg lower lift on the mat. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Now come thigh to thigh, knee to knee. Drop your shin, bend your foot down to the headrest, and come up to sitting. Release out of the tuck. Extend your legs long in front of you. Go ahead and do 1 more check to make sure that you have at least a hand's width behind your tailbone to the end of the mat. If you are having trouble getting your legs in between the shoulder blocks, go ahead and stack them to cross your legs. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to sit thigh to thigh. Good. We're going to inhale with our palms facing each other. We're going to open to a T. Wrap your ribs and pulse back for 10, 9. Hinge forward slightly so you're staying out of your hip flexors. Keep breathing. Inch forward, inch back. Here's 8, 9, 10, and come forward. Bring the carriage into the bumper. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your arms back out to a T. Flip your palms away from you and press back an inch and forward an inch and back and forward. 3. Dropping your shoulders up, back, and down. This way's the hardest for me. I don't know about you. Here's 8, 9, 10. Now come back to the front. Place your arms down. Shake them out real fast. We're doing great, guys. We only have 2 more exercises, and then we're going to go ahead and be done with this part of the series. Our arms are straight forward. I have my fists lined up with my upright, so they're not touching each other. They're separated enough so that they're lined up over the ropes. I don't want my shoulders rounding or coming up to my ears. I'm going to lift up and lower. And up. And lower. Dropping my shoulders down my back, sinking my lower abdominals. Here's 5. We're just just taking a little break from forward flexion. There's 6. We just have 2 more here. Drop your shoulders down, abs in, grab your ribs. Pull up on the muscles on top to your knees. And lift. Final one, and lower, good. From there, if you have one leg on top of the other, go ahead and switch your leg that is on top if they're crossed. From there, we're gonna tuck and roll back and open our arms to a high V on one side, a low V on the other, and come back to center, maintaining our C-shaped curve. Now we're going to come across the other way. My opposite arm is up, and my other arm is down low. I have my body rotated ever so slightly so that my chest is opening more towards between the shoulder block and the outside of the reformer. I'm not rotating completely to the outside of my shoulder, or to the outside of my reformer. It's just a slight rotation. Drop your ribs towards your hips. Come back to center. Tuck and roll up. Place your straps down. Fold over your legs. Round over them. Taking a nice deep breath. Still pulling your lower abdominals above your legs, not allowing them to sink onto your legs. From there, we're going to articulate up. Come to the side of the machine. We'll be adding springs for curl-ups, hundreds, and coordination. On my machine, that is 1 red, 1 blue. 1 medium, 1 light. Go ahead and put your headrest back up if you like. Come the line down. Find your straps. Locate your neutral spine. Come into a true tabletop position. So not up here, not down here, not in here, not out here. It's as if your legs to your table are in a 90-degree position with the top of your table, which is flat. I always have a hard time maintaining that. My legs are squeezed together. I'm gonna inhale. Exhale. Begin to draw my fingertips down towards my feet and curl up. Drawing my ribs towards my head. Nice wide open collarbone. Nice long neck. And lower. And exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And lift. Dropping my belly to my spine. 1 more. And lower. And now we're going to do a single leg stretch variation with curls. So we're going to inhale, exhale, curl. Press my leg against my right, my left leg against my right leg. As I press it out, my legs are connected. I'm not dropping it down here. I'm maintaining connection on my inner thighs. And I come back down. And I exhale to curl up and press my right leg out. And exhale, lift, extend left leg. And inhale. And right leg. A lot of ab heavy work today, guys, huh? Don't worry, we'll get a lot of nice extension in as well. Check on your tabletop right now. Make sure that you're still on your tabletop. And lower. Right leg. And now we're going to do double leg stretch variation. We're going to inhale. Exhale, press up to the hundreds position. And pull it back in as we float our arms back up. And exhale to extend. And inhale down. Here's the fun part, guys. Exhale to extend and stay there. Begin pumping for inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your legs. Drop your belly to your spine. Squeeze your heels together. So if you're squeezing a dime between them, wrap your ribs. Pump strongly from your shoulders, not your body. Your shoulders are doing, your shoulder joints doing the movement. Inhale. And exhale. I don't know about anyone else, but I am already sweating. Exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, act as if you're fogging a mirror. 1 more. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Draw your knees in. Float your hands. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to take a real quick break from tabletop. I have my feet resting on the foot bar.
extended wider than my hips. And I'm gonna go ahead and gently windshield wiper my legs from side to side. One hip is floating off. Try to keep the rest of my ribs on. Just a gentle rotation. A nice little quick break. I know that I am definitely feeling the exertion from these exercises so far. I'm gonna come back up into true tabletop. On this coordination, we're not going to come back past true tabletop. We're gonna keep the work in our lower abdominals. I'm gonna drop my hands in. My biceps are squeezing my ribs. My fists are over my shoulders. My legs are squeezed together in true tabletop. Inhale, exhale, press out to the working level. Turn my feet out. Separate them the width of the reformer. Squeeze them back to my inner thighs. Come back to parallel. Draw my feet to tabletop. Bring my arms back in so they're bent. Biceps pressing on my ribs. If you need to rest your head, neck, and shoulders, feel free to. Otherwise, we're going to inhale. Exhale to press out. Turn our feet up. And beat one. And beat two. Parallel. Tabletop. Back to the position. Inhale. Exhale and turn out. And here's one. And a two. And a three. And a parallel. Tabletop. Then arms. And exhale, press. Turn out. And here's four. And three. And two. And one. Belly to spine. Parallel. Tabletop. Two more sets and press. You guessed it. Turn it out. Wide collarbones. And here's five. And four. And three. And two. And one. Parallel. Tabletop. Arms and biceps, hugging ribs. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. And here's six and five. Don't lift it up so high that it strains your neck. Parallel. Tabletop. In. Rest your head and shoulders. Rest your feet. Peg your straps. Go ahead and windshield your wiper your legs one more time. We're going to go ahead and begin box work after this. So I'm going to go ahead and come up to sitting. We are going to keep it on one red spring. So I'm going to, or one medium spring, which is one red for me. I'm going to drop my one light spring, which is my one blue spring. I'm going to bring my headrest down to flat. My box is over here, so that's why I'm going this way. I'm going to grab my box. If you're wearing slippy heels, or if you're feeling you're going to have trouble maintaining your position on the box, go ahead and take a sticky mat, place it in the center of the box. Again, I'm checking to make sure that I only have one medium spring on. From there, I'm going to place one hand on my foot bar, the other hand on my foot bar. Then I'm going to swing my leg up and around and place it on the box. I'm going to swing my other leg up and around and place it on the box. One right spring, or one just medium spring, is light for my Swan. It is going to be more lat work, so make sure that you're sinking into your lats, pulling into those, and not allowing your shoulders to come up to your ears when you pull across the foot bar for Swan. My hands are the width of the foot bar, so they're on either end. My sternum, or my 12th rib, or if I'm wearing a sports bra or bra strap, is right at the end of the box. My nose is hovering over my foot bar. I'm squeezing my legs together, pressing my pelvis gently into the box, drawing my abdominals up and in, wrapping my ribs. I'm going to press out on one. On two, I'm going to pull up, float into so much as I can to the bumper, and I'm going to press it out. I'm still wrapping my ribs. If you feel your ribs kickstand or stopping you as you start to articulate down on the box, you're flaring them at the top and getting into your low back. Go ahead and wrap them strongly. You might find that your articulation is a little lower. You're really protecting your low back. If you have low back pain, we have two more. Go ahead and try to draw your belly button up to your spine even further. If that doesn't work, squeeze your legs all the way together. If that still doesn't work, please don't do Swan anymore. Great. Let's do one more, so let's count. Your head should be the last thing to come down and come across the foot bar. Excellent. I'm going to come to this side. We're going to be doing pulling straps 1 and 2, and we're going to be doing teaser. I'm going to go ahead and drop my foot bar down to my lowest setting because I don't like the way it hits my legs for teaser or pulling straps. We're going to be doing pulling straps and frog. This is something that I learned from Tiffany Burke. She's a teacher out in Utah. It's my favorite variation of pulling straps. I have a hand on one corner of the box, a hand on the other corner. Again, I'm going to swing my leg up and swing my other leg up. Your sticky mat can stay there. Again, my sternum or 12th rib is going to be right on the edge of the box or your bra strap. I'm going to press my pelvis gently into the mat, drawing up on my lower abs or my abdominals to draw my belly button away from the box. Wrapping my ribs. I have my feet flexed, I have my heels squeezed. My knees are separated, they're not wider than the box. I'm not sinking my legs in so heavy that my hips pop off the mat. I'm engaging my glutes and inner thighs slightly and my hamstrings so that my legs feel lighter on the box. I'm not lifting them off of the box, but they're not sinking in so hard that I have a tent from my ribs to my knees. So, I'm going to place my straps on my wrist leg bracelets. I'm going to choke up on my straps. I'm going to come out so my arms are long. I'm going to rest my fist on the side of my reformer. I'm going to inhale. Exhale, press my fist down as if I'm reaching them into water. And come up. Pressing my fist away from my shoulders are down my back. I come up into a tiny baby swan. I'm looking in at the inside of the back of my reformer. I'm not cranking my head to the back of my neck. And I float back down. Belly button is swing. And exhale out. And down. And keep coming. If you find that the baby lift or back extension is bothering you, feel free to cut it out. You can do this in neutral. Come back down to neutral every time, looking down at the floor. Have you lost that slight lift in your thighs and your glutes? Now come up. And now, keeping your arms back, we're just going to bend at the elbow, bringing our fists to our shoulders and press back for triceps. 1. Abdominals up and in. Here's 4. We're going to 8. 5. Wrap your ribs. 6. 7. Flex your feet strongly. And 8. Staying back there, don't move. Lift your feet up and stamp your feet to the ceiling. Stamp your feet to the ceiling. 8. 7. 6. 5. Glute work. And now release down. Don't release your legs. Don't release your core. We're going to grab onto the metal part or the knots if you have soft ropes, or you can place your rings on the thumb like a thumb ring and hook them over so that you're holding onto the ring. Now come out to a T. Palms stay down the entire time. Inhale, squeeze under your arm, on your lats, like you're squeezing an orange. Exhale back. Inhale. Drawing up in your abs. Pressing your pelvis gently into the mat. Don't look up at the wall. Look up at the inside of your reformer at the back. Now keep your arms back. Go out an inch and in. And pulse an inch. 3, 4. Palms down. 7, 8. Here comes, you guessed it. Stamp your feet, glutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come back. Extend your feet. Rest over your box. Rounding forward. Taking a few nice deep breaths here. Next, we're going to be doing teaser. If you are uncomfortable doing teaser on the box, or if you feel unsteady, take your box off. Do it on the carriage. If you are uncomfortable doing teaser on the carriage, come off of your reformer and do it on the mat on the floor. I'm going to come off of my box carefully, 1 foot at a time. I'm going to remove my sticky mat so I don't get stuck in it while I'm doing teaser. I'm going to check my box, make sure that everything's steady. I'm still on 1 red spring. We're going to be offering optional add-ons. We're doing teaser 3 times for teasers 2 and 3. Feel free to not participate in these on the box, on the carriage, or on the floor. I'm going to come to sitting wherever I am. I'm going to roll back carefully, guys. Carefully come back. If I'm on the box, I'm going to come to the tippy tops so my shoulders are off. And then I'm going to locate my straps. Carefully, don't wrench out your shoulders. I wish there was a more graceful way to do this. I really haven't found a way that I like yet. I am going to extend my legs long. If you would rather begin teaser and tabletop, you are welcome to. I'm sorry that my feet are out of the camera right now. I'm not beginning with slack in my ribs. I have no slack in my ribs right now. I'm going to inhale. Exhale. As I exhale, I'm going to reach my hands down by the machine and begin to draw my ribs towards my hip in a forward flexion position. When I start to feel my sacrum up and off the box, or a carriage or a floor, I'm going to lift my legs up into teaser. Reach your fingers long. Inhale. Exhale, tuck just your pelvis, just like we did at the beginning. When your sacrum hits, that's when you begin to lower your head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, and feet. You want for everything to come down all the way at the same time. Inhale. Exhale. Reach down towards the floor with your hip. As soon as your sacrum goes up, reach your feet up. Reach your arms long. Now, 3 tiny circles away from your body. And 3 tiny circles towards your body. If you're beginning to feel it too strongly in your quads or hip flexors, go ahead and bend your knees into a frog. Squeeze your heels and drop into your lower abdominals. Coming down from here is the same thing. Inhale, exhale, tuck your pelvis. As soon as your sacrum hits, that's when you begin to lower your head, neck, shoulders, arms, and legs so everything comes in at the same time. One more time. Inhale, exhale. Begin to nod up, creasing at your sternum, reaching long. As soon as your sacrum pulls off, lift your feet. Now drop your feet an inch and lift with your lower abdominals. Just like in the warm-up series with the single leg scissors. One more. Tap your tail. Whoop. So slow down for me this time. As soon as your sacrum hits, begin to release everything else so it all comes down at the same time. From there, go ahead and drop your handles in. If you're able to, reach down and articulate up. Now, come off the side from there. Really good, guys. Looking great. From there, I'm going to set up for short box. I'm going to press my box up against my shoulder blocks. If I make any other adjustments, not harm at all. For my body personally, I'm going to go ahead and make those at this time. For example, I press my machine away. Just one setting. You don't have to do that. Let's put anywhere from 3 to 4 springs on the machine. We're going to drop our footrest. We're going to give our safety strap a good yank to make sure it's still there. I'm going to come to sitting on my butt carefully. I'm not going to jump up onto the carriage without holding on. I'm going to extend my feet long in front of me. I'm going to make sure I have a hands width behind my booty, just like in the warm-up again. And I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to hook them together, and squeeze them together, kind of like a fancy cinnamon roll. I'm going to punch myself in the stomach, dropping my shoulders down. Crease over my sternum, turn over my legs, and draw my belly button away from my hands. From there, I'm going to inhale back. I'm going to articulate. So the first thing that hits is my sacrum, and then we're going to extend from there. Now, as I exhale and I come up, the first thing that's going to come up is my sternum, and then my sacrum's going to peel off, and I'm going to peel forward again. And come back. Squeezing my legs, and I'm going to come back again. Pulling my shoulders down my back. This is a much smaller movement. We're focusing strictly on the forward flexion here. And we're focusing on this rib to hip connection, drawing our ribs together, keeping our shoulders down our back. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm having no problem finding earthquake abs or shaky abs here. I'm going to come back. Really dropping my belly down. It's just all over them. Ugh. Anybody else find that they get very itchy when they get uncomfortable? Here's 5. We're only going to 6, guys. And then we're going to do flat back. Pull up on the muscles to really maintain your leg connection. Roll it back. Final one. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. No breaks. Reach your arms up in front of you. Biceps by your ears. Drop your ribs. Abdominals up and in. Hinge forward slightly so that you're not only getting a nice sort of hamstring stretch here, but you're also coming out of your hip flexors. So you're not automatically popping into those when you do this flat back movement. From there, we're going to reach up. Coming back as if I'm between 2 panes of glass. I'm going to exhale to lift. Squeezing my whole body forward and hinge forward against the leg. Inhale back. Exhale it forward. Inhale back. Keeping my biceps right here. If you have to, come to here. If you need some additional help with the load, it will give you some additional. When you come forward, don't flash out in your ribs or flare out. Inhale back. We have 2 more, guys. Reach up tall without bringing your shoulders to your ears. Wrap your ribs, belly up and in. This is also working your back chain muscles right now. Inhale back. Squeeze your glutes down, lift you up higher. And now, release the stretch in your legs. Hold over your feet if you're comfortable. We're going to take a couple of deep breaths here. From here, we're going to do a fun setup. So I'm going to come off my box. I'm going to go ahead and lift my foot bar back up. I'm going to bring the carriage back in. I'm going to place 1 medium spring on my machine, 1 red. Don't take off the red, Emily. I'm going to take my box of Pilates stuff and put it to the side. Press my straps back, get them out of the way. I'm going to take my box and I'm going to place it inside my body. If you need to do that by turning your backs to the side to make it work, that's fine. We're going to have to make some fun adjustments from here until we figure out where we're going with this. We're going to be doing kneeling reverse ab curl. I brought it so that my thighs are pressing into my shoulder blocks. I'm going to come down into a quadruped position. Does the box look close to me? Yes. But from there, I'm going to round up. The box looks close enough to me, but not so close that I can feel it pressing against me if I don't move my head out into it. This is where I want to start. I want to pull in on my lats. I want to be in a curved position, dropping my tailbone down, drawing my ribs towards my hip, forward flexion. From here, I'm going to inhale, exhale, draw into a deeper forward flexion, and come back. If I come and I bump into my box like that, I'm not moving the correct, or if I saw into my legs like this, it's not what we're going for. We're going for a deeper, deeper, deeper forward flexion. So thumbs on the outside of your reformer so you don't thumb off. Exhale, lift deeper into your angry cat. And release. And the movement's smaller. 5. This is definitely harder. Pull your shoulder blades down with your lats. Look in through your thighs, but your box shouldn't be crunching your chin to your chest. I definitely feel this. I'm shaking all the way around my glutes, guys. And out. Don't get up from there. From here, I'm going to lift my right leg. I'm going to tap my knee down beside my left leg. My hips are still square. My shoulders are still square. My foot is lifted on my right foot. Inhale, exhale. Curl and reach. Don't allow your head to press into the box. If you're like, oh, this movement's not very big compared to what it usually is, could it be because you're sawing at your hips? Could it be because you're pressing out past your shoulders over your wrists that far? The movement is a small one. Let's do 2 more. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Now, bring your right foot back to the original position. Readjust, make sure that you're equally weighted in both hands, and then lift your left leg up. Tap your knee to the outside of your right leg. If you sunk like I just did, go and pull it up into that forward flexion cat position. And exhale, pull it in, and inhale back. Here's 3, 4. This was inspired by my trainer, Katie. She told me to imagine there's a wall in front of me when I did this movement. And I was like, how can you make people imagine that there's a wall in front of them? Actually put something in front of their bodies, right? All right, go ahead and release your left leg. And now walk your feet back so that you can comfortably find a quadruped position where your shoulders are over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. From there, go ahead and lift your head, lift your tailbone, looking at the wall in front of you. And now reach up and do a cat again. Looking in through your legs, just as a gentle stretch this time. And come back up into the cow. Don't drop your bellies when you do this. Make sure you're still lifting your bellies up and in. Wrapping your ribs and lift. And 1 more. Those were hard movements. Ooh, you deserve this, guys. You're doing a great job. And now go ahead and bring your heels together. Keep your hands on the outsides of your forearm. Rest your head down. Rest your glutes on your heels. And come into a nice child's pose for a couple of deep breaths. From here, we're going to walk our hands back. Articulate up to sitting. And now we're going to go into the long stretch series. So let's go ahead and remove our backs. We're going to bring it under here. We're going to lift our headrest up. I moved my here, so I'm going to place that over here. I'm going to go ahead and put my ropes back hooked up to my machine. Okay, so I'm going to put my box back. And then from there, I am going to have 1 red and 1 blue spring on. I'm going to place one hand down, the other hand down. I'm going to bring my foot up, place the ball of the foot between the carriage and the headrest. Press out, lift my other foot up and around, and place it down. My feet are in a Pilates V, so my toes are closer to my shoulder blocks. My heels are together. I'm lifting up on my abdominals and pulling the machine apart to flatten my shoulders. I'm going to inhale back and exhale. Bring my shoulders back over my wrist and inhale and exhale. I'm never going to dump out my front. I don't want to round in on my shoulders. Act as if you're pulling the footwork apart even wider to flatten your shoulder blades. And you're a straight line. Bring your head all the way down. Squeezing your glutes, squeezing your inner thighs. Bring the carriage in. Drop down to your heels. Tuck your toes. Bring your heels against the machine. And now squeeze your glutes to press up into a swan position. Pulling your shoulder blades up, back, and down. Now press over your knees quickly and press out. And then lift up into a swan extension. And press out. Squeeze your glutes even tighter and wrap your ribs. And press out on the inhale and drop your belly. And press out. And squeeze your lats down your back. And 1 more. And come back up. Now press back to your heels. Walk your feet forward slightly. Hike up. And walk your feet down flat on the mat. Your feet are going to be in front of your shoulder blocks. You can raise your toes. You have equal weight from behind your big toe, behind your baby toe towards your heels. You're going to tuck into the cat position again. Forward flexion, drawing your ribs towards your hips. Dropping your tailbone slightly. Your biceps are by your ears. For elephant, we're going to press back and Kneeling reverse ab curl. Increase that forward flexion. Inhale. Less body parts on the machine. Make it harder. Here's 4. 5. Make sure that your biceps are by your ears, holding it up, dropping your head all the way down or lifting it. Here's 7. As if someone's punching you in the stomach. And here is 8. And now press back into a flat back position. If you have a hip replacement surgery, please do not do this one. It can come past a degree of flexibility for your hips. We're going to try to keep our biceps between your ears, wrap our ribs, and press out, and tug, and back, and pull it under. Flat back position the whole time. 2. 3. Nice wide collarbone. Here's 6, 7, and 8. From here, we're going to step off to the side. I'm going to release my one leg. So I'm going to have one medium or one red spring on. I'm going to come down to my carriage. I'm going to bring my feet all the way to the edge so I can take my toes and wrap them around the back corner. Squeeze my glutes. Bring my shoulders over my hips over my knees. I need to grab my handles. I'm going to inhale, exhale, reach my fingers down just like in teaser, pull my hands back. I'm going to look to the right, center, left, center, release my hands forward carefully. It should feel like I'm having trouble keeping my balance. And belly to spine. Look left, center, right, center, release. And reach down and back with your fingers, engaging your lats. Right, center, left, center, release. Left, center, right, center, release. One more set. Woo, I lost my balance a little bit. That happens. Look, right, center, left, center, release. And pull it down and back. And left, center, right, center, release. From there, we're going to carefully sit back to our heels. Add back on that one light spring. So one medium, one light, one red, one blue in my machine. I'm going to walk my thighs back up to where they were for the kneeling reverse ab curl. Again, I'm squeezing my glutes. So my shoulders are over my hips are over my knees. I'm all lined up. I'm going to choke up on my straps. I'm holding onto the tape. Roll my shoulders up, back, and down. We are going to do thigh stretch. Inhale, exhale, come back. As if I'm between 2 panes of glass. This is a harder flat back from short backs. And come back up. Notice I did not come back very far. We're going to do a little back extension here too. And we don't want to go so far that we fall back into our springs. So it's best just keep it very little. Squeeze everything, draw your ribs in, and press it back up one straight line. So again, when you come back, your shoulders are over your hips. Your hips are in line with your knees. And when you come back the whole time, everything's still in line. Now for the tiny back extension. Instead of crunching back, we're going to think of lifting our chest and coming back forward, articulating back up. Head's the last thing, eyes are the last thing to come back up. So we're going to lift our head up and back, looking up at the ceiling, not crunching, trying to look at the wall behind us. My thighs are still attached. My ribs are still together. My thighs are still attached to the shoulder blocks. And back up. This is another variation of Swan, guys, in a different position with less body parts touching the carriage. Final one. Open the chest. Look up at the ceiling. Try to open your collarbones towards the ceiling. And come back to center. Good job, guys. Go ahead and come down. We're going to change over to our foot straps. So if you have on double loops, you leave it. If you need to change over to your foot straps, please do so. We're going to drop our headrest. We have on one red, one blue. I'm going to come down to lying. We're going to press out. I'm going to place my right foot in the strap first. Whichever foot you like is fine. Press out until you have tension in your strap. Place your other foot in, connect your heels, toes apart, neutral spine. Try to do as tight of a frog as you can, but tucking your tailbone. Really weight your sacrum and inhale, press out, and exhale in. Press out as low as you can while maintaining a neutral spine. It'll increase your challenge. These are lighter springs than we would normally use for feet and straps. We're going to be doing short spine after this. Here's 8. We're going to go to 10. Wrap your ribs. Draw your abdominals up and in. Nice wide shoulder blades. And here's 10. Draw it in. Extend your feet to the ceiling and parallel. Now, flex your feet and squeeze it down and point to float your feet up. And flex and pull down. Neutral spine, point and lift. And here's 3. Here's 4. Squeezing with your glutes and hamstrings. And here's 5. Leaving your feet pointed, we're going to reverse to point down and flex to float them up. And point. And flex. My legs are together the whole time. They do not separate. Think of them as one mega leg. That's what an instructor might used to call it, mega leg. Here's 4. Wrap your ribs. Drop your belly. And 5. And now turn your feet out to Pilates feet. Point them out and flex to pull them together at the same time. And point and flex. Here's 3. And 4. And 5. Leaving them flex, we're going to open and point to close. And flex and point. 3. 4. And here is 5. Now leaving your feet pointed, bring them to parallel. Bring them down the center. Turn them out. And in turn out, you're going to circle your feet and parallel to reach them away from you. And turn out for the circle. And parallel down through the center. And turned out away from the body. 1 more. And we're going to reverse. Leaving your feet turned out, bring them to the outside turned out. When they come to the center, turn them parallel to float them up. Turn out and circle. Your circles can be as wide as you would like, as long as you're not rocking and rolling or tucking or tilting in your pelvis. If you feel yourself starting to do that, today might be your day to just leave your circles a little bit more narrow. Really work on some control. And here is 5. Good. Bringing your feet in to a tight little frog. I'm going to scooch away from the shoulder blocks ever so slightly. Double check that my headrest is down. Platform my arms down by my side. I'm going to press out into a working level. Float my toes up to the ceiling, piking at the hips. Now I'm going to tuck my tail and articulate up. Pressing my feet into the straps to assist with the lift. I'm going to come into a high frog, bringing my knees towards my shoulder blocks, but I'm not up on my neck. I can still lift my head. From there, I'm going to begin to articulate my spine down. When I've gone down as far as I can, I hamstring curl to bring my heels to my glutes, and I press out, and I pike, tuck and lift, and I frog, and I articulate down. I'm leaving my feet where they are in space. Same idea that we talked about at the beginning of class when we had our ball of our feet on, our heels off for footwork. And tuck. Make sure you can lift your head off so you're not on your neck. Woo! Being a nice hamstring stretch there. Let's do one more so we pike. Tuck and lift. Press in, squeeze everything together. Come down into a frog, flexing our feet. Begin to articulate down, leaving my feet where they are in space and bringing it down. Good. I'm going to press my right foot out, take my left foot out of the strap, find the foot of my left foot, bend it, take my right foot off. Good job, guys. I'm going to come up to sitting. I'm going to take one blue spring off or one medium spring off, or one light spring off. So I have one medium spring off for me, that's one red. We are going to come into Mermaid. If you cannot sit in the Z-sit position, please feel free to sit with your legs to the side or
crisscross applesauce. But you might also have to angle your crisscross applesauce slightly towards the front corner of where you're facing. Otherwise, I'm going to take my top leg, press it into my shoulder blocks, take my other shin and reach it towards the corner at the top. I'm going to place my hand on the foot bar, place my other hand on the shoulder block. I'm going to press away and reach up and over. Don't sink down. It's as if you're reaching up over a ball. And bend your elbow, come up, and bend into the well. Reach up and over. Now, rotate towards the springs. Place the top hand on the foot bar, place the other hand on the outside of the foot bar towards the back. Now bend your elbows wide, but not above your hands, and press it out. Bringing the top of your head towards the foot bar. And here's 3 push-ups. Now, bring your back hand towards the front hand, float your front hand off, rotate, bend it up, and rotate over. We have one more variation of Mermaid to do. Place your hand down, press it over, reach up and over, rotate, place your hand down, place the other hand on the outside of the floor, and now press it up, coming up into a swan. With my top hand is at the front, towards where I'm rotating towards, I'm pulling back. With my back hand, I'm pressing into the foot bar so that I'm keeping my shoulders as square as possible. So I'm really maximizing my twist. I'm pulling with my left hand, I'm pressing with my right. And one more. And now I'm going to press out. I'm going to take my back hand, bring it towards my front hand, flip my front hand off, rotate to the side, bend my elbow in, and come up. From there, I'm going to carefully turn to the opposite side. Again, you can have your feet hanging over the side or crisscross applesauce. Please do crisscross applesauce with the opposite leg in front though on this side. Otherwise, I'm going to come to a Z-sit position. My right shin is pressing into the shoulder blocks. My left shin is angled ever so slightly towards the corner of the front where I am working. I place my hand down on the foot bar, I reach up and over. I'm reaching up and over my body. I'm not sinking down. I'm reaching up, really using my obliques. I'm going to bend in, come up to sitting, bend away. And now I'm going to come back over and reach down and bend over and rotate towards my springs. Place both hands on the outside. We're going to do push-ups, so draw your belly up and in. Bring your top of your head towards the bar and press. And come in. Belly up and in, ribs racked, and press. Bring your back hand forward, put your top hand off, rotate away from the springs. Come up and float over. One more. Reach up and over, rotate towards the springs. We're going to go into the swan variation. I'm going to place my right hand on. I'm going to place my left hand towards the back. I'm pulling in, pulling towards my body with my top right hand. I'm pressing away with my left hand to square my shoulders. Come up into a swan and press back down into neutral. And up into a swan and press back down. And one more. And press back down. I'm going to bring my left hand towards my right hand. Flip my right hand off, so looking at the springs. Rotate towards the outside. And my elbow in. For one final reach away from the foot bar. I'm going to come back up to sitting. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you all enjoyed class. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.